It's one thing to build a team. It's something totally different to build a high-performing team. I'm going to walk you through in today's video the steps to take to build a high-performing team. And it doesn't matter the components of the people. It doesn't matter. What matters is the things I'm going to show you right now. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Yoro Gwigu. I've trained over 25,000 salespeople across 5 countries: Nigeria, Ghana, USA, UAE, Rwanda. I'm an author of several books and resources on sales, and I've been featured on lots of media platforms to talk about successful selling. I worked on an organization where I was going to target to sell to 20 high net worth individuals, and I was able to bring in 21 high net worth individuals to my organization in a single month. I also participated in a sales competition where I won, and I was sent for the World Cup for an all-expense paid trip. I moved to another organization where I was able to double my portfolio by over 100% in just 11 months. I'm CEO of Advantage, and our specialty is in Salesforce management. This means we work with CEOs, we work with team leads to help them build their teams and help them achieve massive success in sales. And that's why in today's video, I'm going to show you the steps we take to help a lot of team leads build sales teams, high-performing sales teams that produce massive results in a record time. Now, first of all, if you want to build a high-performing team, you must be a high performer first. Now, when I say you must be a high performer, think of the fact that the coach of the Chicago Bulls many years ago, who worked with Michael Jordan, you understand that he was not necessarily the best player in his time, or maybe not even the best player, but there was something in him that defined him and made him high performing. If you look at the coaches of several teams around the world today, the coaches are not necessarily the best people at the sports, but they have something in them that defines them to be high performing. And that's what I want to show you now. When I say things like you must be a high performer first, I'm not saying you must be the person who must be able to close the deals at the fastest and at the highest level. You must be able to close, yes. You must be able to demonstrate that you have capacity and capabilities. But what makes you high performing is your ability to build systems and processes. Your ability to follow through with discipline is what makes you high performing. See, the difference between a performer and a non-performer is just discipline. Because the performer is able to perform a series of tasks in a disciplined manner for a consistent period. Therefore, he can produce astronomical results. Whereas the non-performer, he performs those tasks when he feels like. The difference between top-performing salespeople and low-performing salespeople: high-performing salespeople do daily what low-performing salespeople do occasionally. So you see, it's about discipline. So you must be somebody who can be able to follow through to build. See, building requires process. Building requires effort. When you build, you are going in the opposite direction of gravity. There will be resistance. So think of the fact that in gravity, anything that goes up must come down. Gravity is pulling everything to the earth's center, pulling everything down. Yet, when you want to grow, you want to move things upwards in the opposite direction. So when we say building a team, raising a team, we're telling you, hey, there will be resistance, but you must be willing to stick to it. You must have a vision of where you see the team. What's your dream team looking like? What do they look like? What's the end results? How do you see them? How do they dress? How do they talk? What's the culture? What have you seen? That's what will keep you going, even when there is resistance to building this team. So the first step in process of team building, number one, form your team. You can't form a team if there are no staff, there's nobody. So people must be present first. People must be present. So form the team. Get the people together. When I talk about forming the team, you may want to look at personality types as well. You may not want, for some reason, depending on what you do, you may want to have a mix. Mix of male, female, mix of introverts, extroverts, mix of certain types of background and certain types of experience. Have a mix, because at the end of the day, this mix will complement each other when it comes to being able to sell successfully. Number two, clarify the roles. What are your roles? Do you have a sales operations person, for example? Who is a sales operations person? Every time salespeople go out and they go for meetings, they come back probably with the forms to fill. They come back with details from their CRM they want to upload. All those manual work, offer letters they need to put together, documentation, all that operational tasks that prevents them from being able to go out a lot more or having more meetings. You have a sales operations staff. You move it to that person. All the person's work is to make sure that all paperwork of the salespeople, they take it from them and they do it. While salespeople, they spend all their time outside having meetings back to back, engaging prospects back to back. And if your salespeople, they should know what's expected of them. What's their job description? What's their KPI? How are they measured? What are their key performance indicators? To know what is important to you that they're supposed to do, they have to know. And it's not enough to talk about it once and say things like, oh, HR give it to you upon your resumption. I'll give you a story. We do work with FMCG companies, fast-moving consumer goods organizations. Now, one of our consultants in FM, he has an FMCG background. So for some of our training programs, he facilitates. Now, in one of these sessions, I saw something he did that really touched me. We were running a sales training program for a yogurt company. Now, this company, their sales were so tough. Why? Because their products would expire on the shelf. It's not like biscuits. Biscuits may have a shelf life, maybe like a year plus. I'm just thinking. Sweets may have a longer shelf life. But these yogurts, they could only last for a few weeks. So this meant that when they took the product to the shelf, they had to quickly drive that sale fast. From when the products were produced to when it gets to the retailer or distributor, they had to do that quickly. And they had to get it sold off the shelf quickly. If not, the goods will expire. I was thinking he was going to take a radical approach to being able to get them to move fast and sell. All he did, we changed their sales, which was lovely. All he did was he assessed their KPIs. He assessed their job descriptions. And I thought, what is this guy doing? But he just took his time. And by the time we were going in detail, line by line on the job description, ladies and gentlemen, most of them had forgotten their job description. Most of them were not doing the things that were written in the job description. And as he was adjusting and helping them make adjustments on the things they needed to do and coming up with plans based on the job description, automatically, we found out why products were not moving as fast as possible and what they needed to do to close sales. So reviewing your job description, because of time, I would have been able to go into more detail about this story, but review your job description, review their KPIs, clarify their roles. Every month, you can have these sessions with them, depending on your team, or every quarter, but just make sure you do that. Number 3, build trust. See, if your people don't trust you, if they feel like when they talk about business deals with you, they lose business. I've seen teams where people say things like, Yuri, I don't talk to my team leader about my transactions, because when I talk to him or her, next thing the deal goes bad. Now, see, it's not necessarily so that when they talk to him or her, the deal went bad. Now, I'm not saying it's not possible, but I'm just saying the reason why they felt that way was because there was no trust. And how do you build trust in a team? You build trust, surprisingly, you build trust in a very simple way. You build trust by listening. By listening. I know that, if you watch some of my previous videos, I've explained that when you have a team lead as a salesperson, your team lead is not obligated to listen to you. You are the one to listen to them. Now, I'm talking to you as a team lead. If you don't listen to your people, I've said it that they're not obligated to listen to you. You're not obligated to listen to them. They have to listen to you. But if you don't listen to them, they will not trust you. And before long, you will not have a team. At least not a high-performing one. So you want to build trust by making sure that when they speak, you give them attention. You don't have to interrupt them. Listen to them like you listen to a prospect. Paraphrase what they've said before you reply. Don't just cut them short and say, go ahead, no. Are they your team members? As long as they're in your team and they're working with you, you're obligated to listen to them. So listening builds trust. Trust can be destroyed instantly. Trust can be built instantly as well. So you want to make sure that you listen attentively. Someone says, how do you know trust can be built instantly? Because when you meet a doctor, he can tell you take off your clothes and you take off your clothes. But you just met him. If you get into an airplane, the pilot says, we are going to a particular destination. You don't know the pilot. You didn't ask for certifications. Yet you committed your life to him. In fact, you even slept in the plane. Even if it's a boss here in our country, you get into the bus and you just trust your life. And you know that some of these bus drivers, they're not really, they may not really be so okay. So you can trust people instantly. So you need to know the power of what you have. Practice listening, and you'll see that you'll get your team to trust you a lot more. Number 4, encourage communication. Let people speak their mind. I know sometimes as a team lead, you've already been casting the vision in a particular direction. You've been telling your team members, this is what we are going to do, this is what we are going to do. You're already communicating that. Nevertheless, sometimes some people come back with doubts and they say things like, boss, are you sure? I don't really think Don't say, what do you mean? Are you not with us? Are you for us or against us? Relax. Relax. I've been there. I know how it is, right? And I know how it feels. When you cast a vision and some people still are not moving with you, and you thought they were moving with you. Encourage communication. Because don't forget that when you bring different people together, they have different backgrounds. They have different backgrounds, different exposures. There are different things that are influencing who they are and what they've become. You don't know the kind of beliefs and the kind of things they've been exposed to. You don't know the kind of disappointments they faced in the past. And possibly they say to themselves, see, I don't want to go on any faith journey or any journey like that looks like, oh, something will happen big in the future. I want to see something practical now. Some people are like that. And you can't blame them. What do you need to do? Encourage communication so that when you know the people who are like that, you can know how to direct your energies and your attention. Such that possibly when it's time to communicate the vision, you cast the vision more. Cast the vision means the thing that you're working on, where you're taking the team to, you keep talking about it. You talk about it again and again. You look for other ways to talk about it. You look for scenarios, case studies, games, things to do to bring it up to the team consistently. Before long, you find out that you will be able to help them change their approach and their thinking. You know, sometimes when people come together, if you have a team of 10 and 3 are this way, 7 are hopeful, positive, they see possibilities. Before long, you may influence the others and they too will start to see possibilities as well. Encouraging communication would also give you feedback on what's happening on the field. Sometimes there are places you may not be able to get to, places you may not go to. They may have access to certain information that you may not have. They can give you that information and that will help you make proper decisions. Then number 5, cultivate a culture of cooperation. Cultivate a culture of cooperation. Now, constantly remind them about the dynamics of a team. You know, the problem with a team is the fact that in a team, when one person steps out, you affect us all. Imagine a team in football, 2 teams playing, all of a sudden they give one player a red card. What happens? They are short of a team player. They are short of a post that they fill on the football pitch. And that affects the possibilities of them winning the game. So, teams, it is said that individuals win medals, but teams win trophies. Which means that when teams come together, they can produce a lot more, unlike when they produce that individually. Nevertheless, make it a clear communication that we need to work together and cooperate. Part of cooperation could be, for example, practicing concepts like tag team selling. What is tag team selling? Tag team selling means you go for a meeting. When you go for, like, several years ago, I went for a sales meeting. When I got into this meeting, this lady I was speaking to, she was the top director in one of the maritime parastatals here in the country. When I got into her office, well dressed, I was pitching, engaging her. Being so young at the time, she looked at me and she said, she was also looking at me while I was talking, and she says, "How old are you?" Hey, that shocked me. Where was that from? I was talking about her accounts, talking about business, things we could do for her business, things we observed in her accounts with us, how we could help her. Next thing she asked me, "How old are you?" And it threw me off. I was like taken aback, because I was like, what? I didn't know how to respond. The point was, I suspect that she felt like, who is this young man managing my business? My son is probably older than him. Maybe that's what she was thinking. I don't know. Anyway, cut long story short, when I go back to my office, I went to meet a colleague of mine and I said, "Hey, bro, I want you to follow me to go and meet this woman, because, man, I couldn't get through her at all." He was much older. When I went there for the meeting, she was so loyal, so pleasant. She did business with us in a big way because we worked as a team. There was cooperation. What if I went to meet my colleague and I said, "Can we go together?" And he said, No, go and sort yourself. No, we work as a team. Because our manager kept on telling us, "See, we're a team. Let's work together and help each other win." All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. We're going to continue the next 5 points again tomorrow. I thank you for joining this call today. I'm sure you've learned a lot. Please remember to watch this next video here. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe as well. Please like our video as well, because if you like the video, I learned that the algorithm takes the video to more people to watch, and that's way a lot of people can be blessed and be able to have their teams grown.